Good morning. It's still morning, actually. Moved on early for once. Alright, let's see. So what I need to do here is... Oops, I need to post. Twitter's posted. I need to post Instagram too, so... I need to switch to live chat while I'm thinking about it. So we got all of that good stuff done. Hey Sharon! Oh, what? Okay, my mic is on. I was like, wait a minute, is my mic on? Hey Sharon! Happy Tuesday to you too. I'm doing some catch up today, I think. Well, catch up in advance of next week, which is Comic Con. And we leave for that on Sunday, so I'd like to have a comic, at least maybe one for next week, and then maybe one for the week after, since I won't have anything for next week, and then it'll probably take a day or so to drive back, so I probably won't make the Tuesday, but you know what, I could also just give myself a break and take a couple weeks off, but that would be healthy. Alright, let's get that posted. Let's do a link. Yes. YouTube at art o watch here. There we go. And post. Always good to have a day to get caught up at. Yes. Yeah, I'm feeling it. I am feeling it for sure. Alright, Instagram, be kind. Post for me, honey. There we go. Oh yeah, and you're still saying, no, I'm not posted yet. I refuse to post. Okay, here we go. So, I did get these in. So excited, and they turned out really pretty good. Not really pretty good, they turned out great. The only thing is, you can't see it. Well, you can kind of see, the thickness of these. It's at 13-point cover stock. And I am still not convinced that, oh, this was just the cover stock from a different machine. It's a different brand. I'm like, you don't get this difference in the strength of a cardstock from one brand to another. 13-point is 13-point. So I'm really suspicious that this is actually 10-point cardstock and this is the 13. So I want to kind of change to this one because, and these are the big difference here is these are my samples, and I loved it. Everything was perfect. It opened up and you could read well in it. I just feel like the binding is a little too tight, but it still works, and it's a nice strong cover stock. So I'm torn, but yeah, the print and everything, the gradient turned out beautifully. Hey Blue Monkey, how are you today? Everybody's wearing a crown. Yeah, let's just see if I can. So the big questionable pages were this one with the double page spread, and you can see Momo still going into the gutter a bit, but I think I successfully spanned the gutter. It's just with this tight binding and cardstock, it doesn't spread out as much, so you can't really see Momo. But I think if I change the cover stock, it'll be fine, and I wouldn't need to necessarily change the, let me see if I can find the Summer Illustrator. Oh, here's Summer. Summer turned it out, well, Summer turned out okay. I got Tuxie there. Coconut still disappears into the gutter, but I mean, if you tip your head and kind of squint your eyes, you can see her. But yeah, so still a work in progress on getting those 2-page gutter spans, but I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with it. All of the colors are just beautiful, and I think I picked really good illustrations to break up the flow. I mentioned on one of the streams what I like to do is kind of, so spreads like these where it's a comic and a comic, I feel that they're very I like to break it up a little bit and like kind of give your eyes a rest. So what I'll do is I'll either do a 2-page spread comics next like this, so the second page kind of functions like a illustration and a place to rest your eyes. I'm probably thinking about it too deeply, but if you look through, you can see the pattern and everything, and really love how this one turned out, the spread with the lantern and the Christmas illustration. But yeah, so that was a major point of worry, was that I wouldn't get those in time, but everything has, I mean, it's just been kind of almost unreal how everything has fallen together and shipped in time. And I don't know if I showed these on the last stream, but the Floof Around and Find Out keychains came in and they look really good. I am in the process of bagging and tagging those. And all of the pins came in. I even got a new box for displaying my 4x6s, which worked out beautifully. Let me see what else is over here. I just got the proof approval for my shirts, which will be printing, should be printing like right as we speak now, for pickup on Friday. No problems there, so just cross my fingers, knock on wood. Hopefully everything will continue to go well. It's just, I just feel like I'm forgetting something huge. I mean, even Momo, she came in on Saturday, and that's 2 years in a row that my plush shipments have shipped and arrived early. Even so much as, you know, as timelines go, they leave late. So I got that batch started, and it really shipped out kind of like the first week or so of, well, actually no, it was second week of June. I mean, it was gonna be kind of sketch, like, will the boxes arrive while I'm in town or not? And they hit they were released from customs on Wednesday, and or actually was it Thursday night? Because I remember I've been checking the tracking every day, and you know, nothing, and all of a sudden it's gonna be here in 2 days. Okay. But no, it's a wonderful problem to have, and I'm very grateful that they arrived. But yeah, so, and that's something, you know, like if I hadn't, because every year what I do is I have a certain number of boxes shipped air, so I can guarantee they're here for San Diego, and then the rest of them can come slow and cheap by boat. And but yeah, it's just, if I didn't do that, they wouldn't arrive. But if I did, everything comes in early. So it's just kind of that way, you know. It seems like that's always the way. All right, let's do this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm doing, and this was originally going to be the print that was going to be on my retail bags. I was going to do scale of Floof Comic Con Edition. And I still think it is a really cute idea, but I can't print on color on those bags. And do I have them here? I do, yes, actually. The bags also came in. Let me print. Double-sided. It really turned out well. They always do such a wonderful job. And I was worried that it wouldn't be big enough, but it really looks fine, especially once you've got something in the bag. Oh, let me grab Momo here. So let's see, Momo going in the bag. So once something is in the bag, you can kind of see the gusset pops out, and really the print is front and center. So it worked out really well. So I was originally going to do full color printed bags, but they were really cost prohibitive. I mean, it was like almost, gosh, it was what, like $1.60 or something per bag, and it was ridiculous. And I would also, it was almost just as expensive as getting, because I was considering doing small little giveaway totes, like some booths still do it, but there was a point in time where you could go to pretty much every big industry booth and they'd have some sort of custom printed bag. And Warner Brothers was the instigator of all of that, and so people would be running over to the Warner Brothers booth to get the limited edition bag for Comic Con. And it kind of created a frenzy. And so what ended up happening was the convention went to Warner Brothers and was like, look, let's just do your giveaway bags as the kind of an official piece of swag that you give to attendees. So ever after that, they have like, I think it was up to I think it's 4 designs now, but I think at one point they had 8. And these bags were like double the size of what they are now. Now they're actually more reasonably sized, but the first couple of iterations of those bags were like, you would stand up and the bag would be like 3 feet tall or something. It would be like I swear it was like at my chest going down to the floor. You could barely walk with it. And they've kind of revised that to more backpack edition that is a little bit less like just like a giant, tote, but more of like a backpack type feel. It's still pretty big as backpacks go, but there's something that was really cool. This one girl, she collected the bags, and she would take them home and sew a dress out of them. So the next day she would come in with a Comic-Con bag dress, and they were the neatest. I mean, it was like kind of like a flare skirt, and it wasn't just some cut and quick go type deal. She would actually, I remember there was one that was like a pleated skirt that had strips that she had done, and of each of the different designs, and it was amazing. But that was how big those bags were, was that she could have enough material between 1 or 2 of them to make a dress out of it. And I remember that, and that was so cool. But yeah, so that's what that was. Anyway, I was a long digression, but I was wanting to do something like that because I found a pretty good bag option that wasn't too expensive. It was nice and sizable, 1 color print, and even through one vendor I could mix and match the colors. So the base colors, I could pick like 25 of one color, 25 of another, etc., etc. And so I was thinking really hard about doing that, and then I went to see like the color bags, and it was almost like just, you've got this large giveaway grocery tote that's the same as this full color print of a retail bag, and I'm, really? So it just got kind of too expensive. But anyway, so that was what I was looking at, and I gotta find my page where I did the sketch mock-up. I'm pretty sure it's on this book, because I did a list. Did I do a list? Getting pretty far back here. Well, this is the scale of Floof 9. Did I really only switch over in April to my new book? Guess I need to look at my old. That was Scale of Floof. Valentine's edition. Maybe I put my notes in with the actual file that I was working on and abandoned. So let's see if I can find it. My eyes are not giving me a lot of help this week. It's very hard for me to read. Sometimes fuss about the dress, but it could fuss about the dress. Okay, let's see. That would have been in products, maybe? Not resizing files. No, Scale of Floof is like this. So you picked your mood. This is part 9 right here, which is what I posted a couple weeks, well, more than a couple weeks ago, several weeks ago. Backer, chain art bag, retail, be cute retail bag. That's the real retail bag. I need the first retail bag that, okay, so there's that, there's, wait, this. Okay, so I obviously copied, oh no. I had a whole list. Where else would I put this? Let's look in some of my planning files. Maybe that's where they are. Menu. I need to do that, but I need to finish that rather, but it's not really top of mind. Not in my workbench. Not in wallpaper workbench. It's not on this either, even though I see some notes there. Where did I put my planning? Oh, shoot. Log header, spoon things. Maybe I put it in shop. I don't think I would have. Did I put it in animation? Cozy Town OP. have a lot of stuff in there, but I don't see a numbered list for a scale of Floof. I think that was all. Okay, so let me rewind here since I found that other file. Products. Let's go back to where that file is and tell me when I made you. I made you in May. Okay, so I need to go back and look in my book and read. It would be this book. And that was specifically May 24th. So let's go back to this week. Of course, here it is. Here it is. Okay. Yeah. Why I follow the steps I follow. All right. So we've got, I'm going to make some notes up here. We've got 1, 20. Eight. Okay, so waiting in line, eating, sleeping, exhausted, in a panel, running late, happy, shocked, cosplay, shopping, autograph. That's an easy one, autograph line. I'm gonna have to probably replace, because waiting in line here, I was thinking maybe Hall H. And then stuff I remember from going to conventions actively myself. You know, autograph line, running late, happy, shocked, cosplay, shopping, so that's exhibit hall, EX hall, cosplay, of course. I feel like meeting friends. Because like oftentimes that, you know, you'd meet together at Comic Cons because everybody would come together. I remember that from Anime Expo and stuff like that. Not Anime Expo, well, yeah, Anime Expo, but I mean, like, when I was going, it was ASIN in Chicago, so, gosh, you know, thinking back on what that ASIN Chicago booth looked like, the exhibit hall, I mean, it was wild. It was, when I was an attendee and going, it was a conference room, like, in the side hall of, I think it was a Sheridan at the time, and that was it. I mean, you walked around that room and maybe, I mean, if you could buzz in and out in like 2 minutes, if there were crowds, you'd probably buzz in and out in 2 minutes. But of course, you walk through and look at stuff. You had like tables of art books and all of this. It was not big at all. And then you compare it to when I went as a vendor, they had switched from being hotel bound to the Rosemont Convention Center. And so it was wildly different and much larger. And I mean, the exhibit hall was, just the vendors hall was of course much larger, and it's just kind of crazy to think back, on how those conventions have changed and grown. And I was watching a kind of an Anime Expo report. I stopped going to Anime Expo around, I want to say the last year was somewhere around 2013 or 14. I don't think it was 12 was the last year. I think there was one more year after that, but I could be wrong. I think it was around 13 or 14. And, things just in that span from 2006 to then had changed so much. They had gone from Anaheim to Long Beach, and then they had gotten stuck in the cesspool that is the LA Convention Center. And at the time when they initially moved there were no hotels very close at all. And I think since then there have been hotels bordering that have been built. And one of the first years they had gone there, I remember that one still very clearly, because the kids were having a hard time, because the nearest hotel was like a mile walk away. And so can you imagine all of these kids in cosplay having to walk a mile through some sticky areas of LA in costume or ride the bus? A lot of them, it was just, the mood was a lot more subdued and kind of a little depressed, to be honest. But yeah, because a lot of them came and they were like, people were making fun of them on the bus rides. They were getting, just kind of, it was a bad deal. But since then, they had built connecting halls, and it was interesting to me to hear that this year, apparently, they converted a section of exhibitor space to artist alley space, and they swelled the floor from 600 some to over 1,000. So that's almost adding about 400 more artist alley booths and taking away from the exhibitor booths. And that honestly doesn't surprise me, because of the company that SBJA handed it over to. They're kind of like, say, used car salesmen. They're really not pleasant to work with, especially as a vendor. And I can't imagine that they're not pleasant to work with as an artist alley person either. But, I can see the gears turning. If we can get 400 more people, even if it's at a lesser, cost than maybe a big booth table, like exhibitor tables. I don't remember. I think those booth tables for exhibitors, I want to say they were pushing every bit of $2,000 a table, I think. Somewhere around there. When I left, I think it was around 2,000, and that was in 2013, so I can only imagine what it is now. But, and I don't know what the price is for artist alley tables, but, you could probably cover the cost of a booth for one exhibitor with, maybe 2 to 4 artist alley people. So I can see those numbers playing out in their favor quite quickly. So it was interesting. I haven't finished a thing on that, but it's just interesting to hear about. Just kind of glad that used to be such a great con, but 2008 or 9-ish is when it changed. They had a huge upheaval, actually. There was a lot of 70 or 80% of the old AX staff walked out, and they handed it over to this management company that had formerly been managing malls and stuff like that. And so I remember one year that it was like the next year that I think it was the first, no, it wasn't the first year, because they typically hustled. That was common. But I remember one of the dealers next to me got absolutely pissed because they started hustling and saying, you need to sign up for your booth for next year right now. You have your appointments right now. And right now happened to be like the first day of con, Thursday. And this dealer was just livid. And he was like, lady, I'm not signing up for next year when I haven't even made my table back for this year yet. And it was not. But yeah, I'm glad I don't go there anymore. I don't know what could bring me back. I really don't. But yeah, in contrast, you know, San Diego is just, it's so different. It's so wildly different. They have a deal with the union there that they unpack your car, they bring it in, they ship it, not ship it, but they I guess depending on how big your booth is, they either pallet jack it in or forklift it in. And it's just, they're so kind to their vendors. They take care of them. And other conventions just kind of treat you horribly. And I remember the last one, I think that still, because it used to be a pretty common practice that the convention would, you know, sponsor lunch for the vendors, and you'd get to pick, you know, sandwich, whatever. I think the last one to do that was A-Con, and they did away with that, I think. But then again, I also haven't been to A-Con in years, so I can't imagine they still do that. But that was really cool. And they would put, you know, like vendor packets on there. They'd give you just random supplies, and, you know, that just, I think that is only happening maybe on the small scale conventions now, maybe. But, you know. Let's get going on this. I can relate even from the other side of the pond. I paid an exorbitant price for a spot. The art fair once, couldn't sustain it after that. Yep. Extortionate, yes. I mean, it... I understand. I you know, being on the business side of it, I understand how, you know, to even get these conventions going, they've got to rent the space in a convention hall. So you either front that with sales on vendor booths, or you front that with a loan. And those prices to rent those spaces are just mind melting. And I think I remember hearing that, gosh, it was the JRB here in Houston. One of the conventions there had kind of falling out, and it was a rumor that they owed the convention center something like $50,000 for renting out the convention center for that anime convention. And I was just like, good Lord. Because, I mean, you look at Anime Expo, and they take over the entire well, I mean, it would take over the entirety of the Anaheim Convention Center when it was there, and I wished it would have gone back there, but they got kicked out. The rumor was they got kicked out of Long Beach. They had some sort of a snit with Anaheim because they couldn't get their precious July 4th weekend. And so they went to Long Beach, and then they never came back to Anaheim, and they went to the LACC. I think that was a mistake because, again, if you're in Anaheim, there are hotels aplenty everywhere. And I mean, that was like the first year I went there. It was actually, it was a little bit of an adventure, but it turned out well, because the first hotel we booked, we got there and we're like, there's no way we're staying here. It's just, I went in there, and it was the first floor on a outdoor facing hotel. And so at the end of the convention, we would essentially be having the rest of our booth stored inside the hotel room. And we were like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And it just was not safe looking, not safe feeling. But we just drove down the road, and there was a brand new embassy that had just opened up, and we rolled in there and booked a new hotel, and it was perfectly fine. It was a wonderful hotel, but yeah, it was wait, no, it was a DoubleTree. It was a DoubleTree because they had the free cookies. And but yeah, so that's the kind of thing that you couldn't really do if you were I just didn't like the LA Convention Center. I didn't like it at all. I think part of it that irritated me too was like the parking lots. They literally had a pile of signs telling you how much it costs to get into the parking garage. And as the evening, or rather day, progressed, it would go, they'd pick up their $10 sign, and they'd pick up their $20 sign, and then they'd pick up their $50 sign for the same parking garage. Depending on the time of day, they ratchet those prices up. And it just, man, I saw that and I was just like, scalping all day long, not a cure. And no one's stopping them either. I don't know if they still do that. I'm sure they probably do. But it's less obvious with, I'm guessing, digital payment gateways and stuff. But yeah, that's what that was. And it of course went up as well when there was a basketball game being played, because the basketball arena was right beside the convention center, and I believe they shared dual parking spaces, but parking garages. Alright, so I need to actually start drawing. So how do I like these? Waiting in line, eating against a wall, sleeping anywhere. That actually makes sense. In a panel. I could do like a line of floofs, and you've got the floof has his little paper. Running late, I could take that out or leave it, but yeah, running late is pretty good. Definitely like shopping cosplay. I think 6 and 7 I could replace with autograph line, or getting an autograph signed, and maybe meeting friends. I like that one. I like the meeting friends. 1, 3 can be at the same time. It's a really long line. Oh, that's actually pretty cute. I like that idea. Because yeah, people do. When they're waiting in line, someone usually holds the space and goes to get food. They bring it back. Yeah, especially in those Hall H lines. Like that idea, Monkey. I like that idea. How can I do that? How can I do that? Let's see. So I could just have the waiting in line like Happy Floofs. And I could spread like one floof here, and this floof is sitting on the ground. Or maybe he's not sitting on the ground. Maybe he's like... we use bag of chips. And then I've got another floof here kind of spanning. That's a great idea. I love that. Thank you. I like that. It's so observant. Yes. That all happens in the same space. All right. And then finally they get to the panel, and it's going to be like one floof. Have ears of other floofs down here. All right. Running late. I got to think about that one. Meeting friends, autograph line. Well, actually running late. Could have them kind of trotting above. All right. And then meeting friends. Happy. All right, cosplay, let's see. And I also need autograph line. Let's save before things get too far. Shopping. It's just gonna have an arm full of bags. It's gonna be everywhere. It's gonna have some weird hat, some beanie hat. All right. Cosplay. All right, who is he going to be cosplaying as? We got to do a cosplay. Let's see. Oh gosh, we need to, well, drink water. That's more of an advice thing. Remember to drink water. Sort of a cosplay. What would a good cosplay be? Like I could have a Floof cosplaying as a Momo cheat. That would be kind of cute. Or I could have him cosplaying as like a flower or something, like something not necessarily tied to a fandom, but you can get the idea. I'm gonna have to draw this all at once. Yeah, I'll just figure out some floofy cosplay. so now I can start to draw. So I've started yesterday. Actually, I started the other day. Where is it? I think it's somewhere else. Started making my originals. I need to draw another one today, and I'm doing assembly now because I'm determined to have definitely the keychains assembled into their packaging, because that's a nightmare. All of that done. I want to have the pins backed and carded as well. I just gotta sit down, put on a movie, and do that. I figured out my my keychain backer and sticker situation yesterday, and it turns out that the little card backs I got, the keychain doesn't really stay on very well, but then I remembered I had these little guys, the Archival Safe little adhesive dots. So I put one of those right behind the keychain, and it pulls off just like, you know, anything does. And that actually is a really good solution. So I just dot it, put the keychain on, it stays in place, it doesn't, you know, kind of wiggle around and get messed up. So that was a good idea, good find, because otherwise I was going to have to put like a piece of tape at the top or something that I didn't feel looked very professional. And threading the lobster clasp through the hook end was taking far too much time. So what I did was I had the jump ring in that top hook, this off to the side, and then I have the little dot here. And that works fine, because yeah, that'll keep everything in place, keep, you know, everything safe. And because I was worried most about the thing popping off, because the bags are bottom load, so if something, you know, heavy hits that, I mean, the whole thing is heavy, but, you know, having a lot of you know, keychain bouncing around is gonna make that seal fail. So I had to come up with a solution that kept it in place and stuff. So. Oh shoot! Okay, I know I haven't started drawing yet at all, and it's been almost 40 minutes of stream, but I wanted to show the animation for the booth, because I got that done way ahead of schedule, and I am 100% shocked about that. I thought it'd still be working on it even today, but I want to show it on screen. Alright, so let me pause my music here, and I'll come over here. Booth trailer volume 2. Alright, here we go. So the only thing I did that was different than my initial version that I did on stream was I made that section of text a little longer, and then I ended up putting the little animations together, 3 up, that I've been working on for the past couple months. And then I separated them with the landscape format animations like this one. Then I went back to the 3 up. And then back, here's another one that I did that was the landscape. And then another 3 up. This is really my favorite with the bouncing mushroom. And then here's Momo bouncing across the screen. And then I layered in some of my time lapses from Procreate. I think I did, in the end, I had more in the initial animation than I ended up with at the end, just because I wanted to keep it at about like 3.5 minutes. I think that's what this ended up being. So there's this full screen one, and then for the vertical illustrations like this one here, I split it kind of to keep a little motion going when I had these slides going across the screen. So I thought it worked out really well because this change, people can read that, and when they're done reading, they can watch this over here. I thought it worked out pretty well. And then I layered in the previous versions, I had just pictures. And so I took videos off of my iPhone and put them in here. And I'm really stunned with how good the quality is. It's just phone video, and it looks good on a regular size TV. And this is the same with these guys. These are my time lapses from drawing in books and also painting. I just put my phone on a mount and start recording, and it looks so good. I mean, even on my tablet is a 4K display, and you can see the detail in my hands. I mean, it's nuts. But yeah, that worked out great, and I thought it was neat to show the actual drawings in progress. And then switch off of this here, yeah. And then so that for the final section here, I did another time lapse. This was the 4th of July little Flutterbug sketch I did, and then over here I have the slides that are promoting the Plushies, comics, pins, and more. And then I did the shout outs for social media. And I changed, let's see, I took off Twitch, I added TikTok, I added YouTube, and yeah, I'm just double checking everything, make sure it's right. Like, yeah, did I mess up? But yeah, that's the booth reel, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Just a testament to sticking with it and keeping going, even if it, is frustrating to start. I'm glad you guys liked it. That's what I was going for. I was going for something and that's also the music I picked too. I felt it was very kind of French cafe ratatouille. And it was also something that I could have playing at the booth, and if I played it long enough, I'd probably go earblind to it, but if I had to listen to it and be aware of it for the entire weekend, it's not something that would irritate me. It's very even and just kind of cozy. So I didn't want to have something that was, really bombastic or loud and jumpy. I just wanted it to be kind of even keel. Yeah, Clint, I'm glad you like it. But yeah, so that will be on the booth TV screen. So the last thing I have to figure out, and I do have it started. I can close out this retail bag because I don't need it anymore. I don't need you either, but I do need to save, and let me bring up one last bit here. I think it was on my regular desk. I'm gonna have where's my booth menu? Get the wrong place. I was looking at my ping file column. I'm like, where's my booth menu? All right, so this will take a little bit to load. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a QR code at the booth, and I'm going to have also probably 1 or 2 prints of just this top area at the booth. But otherwise, I'm going to have a QR code that you can bring this image up and just see what is available. And I have yet to go in. I've got to put out prices, and I've got to I'm going to separate these sections. So here are the exclusives, here are the new releases, and then I'm going to have probably a special section like the secret menu t-shirt archive, and show some of the extra t-shirts if I have room and if I can figure out how to do it, store it rather, that I'll have available kind of as a secret menu type deal. But these are the primary ones that I'm going to be displaying everywhere. And, but yeah, so t-shirt tanks, tote bags, plushies, plush keychains, book of cute 1 through 6, Life of Pug, coloring book, illustrated ABCs, single hard enamel pins, and I have a set, challenge coins, lanyards, pencil cases. Where's my music? Mini purse clutch, sticker sheets, stickers, regular, prints, mini, and medium. So I think I'll just be, it might make us a smidge smaller, sure. Or I may break it up into 2 columns. I might break it up into 2 columns. That feels probably a little bit better, but just have to finish that. These are some of the, I did photography on the mini purses. They're not actually that mini, they're like this big. Actually, let me scoot over here and get one. Ouch! So I did these one year, and I never brought them back. I have a really good way to display them though. You can see the bottom, it kind of has about, I would call that maybe 3.5 inches on the bottom, and then you open it up, you've got the little kind of clutch feel, and inside is a little pocket that, oops, you know, like you can, you can't really see it, but you can kind of fit a phone in there. And it's got a double compartment there, and it's kind of stretches across. So you've got the whole of the bag, and then this compartment that stretches across the middle. So I did 6 different designs on these, and they turned out so good. And this is the one I kept for myself because I love this design so much. I just love his little mushroom hat, and he's so excited to go trick-or-treating. But so those are those, and hey Dee, welcome to the stream. One of the older ones, it is a really good size, and one of the older ones that I did, I used to keep all of my cords in, and it's really a perfect size for all of those different cords. And that's one I have back in my drawer over there, but it works out really well as a cord keeper, but you can also, you know, carry it around and do other stuff with it. These are, not sure, you can't really see all of the designs, but I did a Meowingers, I did the Floofs in a log. I think I drew that on stream, actually. I think that was one of the Procreate streams I did. For some reason, I'm remembering it. There was some reason I was drawing something went wrong, and I decided to draw in Procreate instead of use Procreate Dreams. Let's see, or maybe, I don't know, I don't remember. The puffy ones, that one went so well, the Floof walking through the pink puffs field, that went so well the last year that I reprinted it. Same thing with this guy, that guy went really well. Then I've got Floof in space, and then I've got the kind of Floofs on the leaf boat floating through this really kind of enchanted pond forest area. Momo Cheat with her strawberry, picking berries with the flutes. And I've got a Mermo, and then I've got the pencil case and makeup bag version of the Superstar Floofs. Let your light shine, you rock, and I don't think, yeah, Never Give Up, Never Surrender is not on this one, but it is on the pencil case. It's on the end of the pencil case. And then this is that one with the strawberry picking. And that's my favorite. Did I bring in, I only think I brought in 3 pictures. Oh, here are the sticker sheets. I've got the Bakery Bliss, Cozy Floofs, Winter Sticker, Fall Sticker, and then Superstars. And then I have, I'm not sure if I'll hold, oh my god, I just noticed. There's a coconut fur on Momo Cheat's tail. So, yeah, I'll have to lint roll Momo Cheat for some more pictures. I don't know if I'll have space enough for this on here, but I did a couple of little pictures here for shots. But yeah, and then 828 is the booth. Super excited about the new spot. It's on a main aisle, right down the row from all of the gaming stuff on the, what would it be? I'm thinking, is it gonna be, since it's actually the west wall, is it? Because it's kind of facing west. It's the beginning, it's the Hall A wall, because Hall H is all the way at the other end, so the Hall A wall is right close to all of that, where they put the Capcom yeah. Yeah, I hope so too. I think it will. I don't anticipate any problems, and I'm gonna be more and more vocal about it. I'm gonna do a couple of reels, and I'll be posting video and stuff from the booth as we're setting up and on the road. Adventure Floof is going to be along with us too, so he'll be going to lots of places. But yeah, so that'll be cool. And it's interesting too, because the orientation of the booth didn't have to change. It would have if I had been on like a different side of the aisle, but as it is, it's just my current booth orientation rotated around 180 degrees, so I didn't have to change where any shelves were. It's just, you know, the back wall is over here versus over here. I didn't have to switch it, which would have been weird. It would have been really weird, because I'm used to, you know, looking certain ways, and I have all of the characters oriented a certain direction to face in or out, and I'm glad I didn't have to think about that or reprint anything. Will you have space for Giant Momo? Yes. Yeah, she's going to be on the end just as she was. I have an end cap, so the benefit of that is that I can have Momo's booty kind of in the booth, but her cupcake just kind of sits on the edge, and it's okay. So even if it's not okay, eking out into the aisleway just a tiny bit, I have enough room where she can sit fully in the booth anyway. So there's not a problem there, but I anticipate her platform, where her booty is, that's where the blower is. So the blower's there, and then there's the cupcake that sits out in front of it with the weight that holds her down. So it's that weight part that is only slightly off the edge of the carpet. So it should be okay. If it's not, I can just move her in and I won't have an aisle exit. But for all the years I've had her out there, I haven't had any problems, so it should be okay. I've been unsure about the internet lately. Wish it was more civil, yeah. And I think the internet is slowly driving people crazy, which is why I'm trying to, and you know, that's something personally for myself. I try and limit, like, every time I realize I'm doing it, it's upsetting to see how much time is sucked away, whether you're doom scrolling or just, you know, not even doom scrolling. If you just get on like a funny TikTok or a funny Instagram, you know, series that, I mean, I've done that. Like, I've gotten on a roll with cat videos or whatever, you know, funny stuff like that. And just time melts away, and you all of a sudden it's, you know, 1:30 in the morning. You're like, I was supposed to be in bed at 12, and you know, I was done with everything to make this happen, but it sucked the time. Which is why I'm trying to personally read more and just stay away from the scroll. And I know it's a it's a conundrum because with my content, I'm directly contributing to this scroll, but I feel like, you know, I feel like what I'm posting out there, I mean, they're carousels, it's still content feeding the machine, and the machine is sucking people in, so I don't know. It's definitely something I think ancient philosophers would have sunk their teeth into and talked about a lot. Oh gosh, that reminds me. I'm reading very slowly, but I'm reading this book called How to Think Like Socrates, and there was a anecdote in it about, was it really the invention of paper and kind of written notes, written word, keeping written history as opposed to oral and orating. And they were kind of talking about it like it was the end of the world. Like, how will anybody ever think if they can write it down and just forget it? And it's just kind of funny thinking about, you know, all of these technological advancements, you know, the writing from an oral history. So you bring in books, you bring in reading, then you bring in the press and books, and now we have the internet, and now we have AI, and now, you know, it's just kind of interesting seeing all those thousands of years ago, we were dealing with the same problems and making the same arguments about, you know, what technology is doing. I just thought it was kind of funny. And I think the perspective of this book, since there's not a lot of written, kind of a lot of Socrates is what people like. There's the Plato stuff about him, but it's also like, it's kind of all pieced together from what people have written and remember about him. And it was just really kind of interesting. I don't remember where that one came out of. Very interesting book if you're at all into that stuff. Alright, I'm going to group these floofs separately so I can kind of move them around and size them up or down if I need to. I have one floof that's kind of like, that kind of wonky eye shape is a little bit appropriate. Oh, but I need to have him in a different group. So let's take him out and let's go back over here, forward. Now I can get into this group. Kind of falling asleep. Expression though, I might change it. Well, there are some happy people online. Maybe this floof is reading the program. Maybe he's got like a little leaflet he's reading. Am I in the right line? And I can have this floof be the one that spans the change in frame. I've never waited in a Hall H line before, but apparently you're not guaranteed. The way I understand it is you wait in line and you're moved in, and then it doesn't really, it's not just for one panel. You kind of line up and then you get shuttled in. And then once you're in Hall H, you can stay or leave when a panel is done. And then the people that leave, they bring in more people to sit, and then it kind of moves in and out like that. I don't really like having this guy so little. I mean, so cut off. I kind of want to show what he's doing. Maybe I make this guy a little smaller so you can see more of them. There we go. You can see more of them now. And I can make this one. I can move this guy back a little bit. Then I'll bring another floof here. So we'll have him kind of going across. I think I'm going to go ahead and make this entire group of floofs one illustration, and I'll just make sure to group them accordingly. That little edge of the floof come back. One is like, that stuff looks good. I wish I had some. Big stretch. Oh, I forgot the paw. Okay. She is, well, I wouldn't say she's awake. She is stretching and readjusting and repositioning. I wouldn't call it awake. Actually, I don't know. She's purring. She's purring. She acknowledged me with a little chirp, and then now she's back to sleeping. Yeah, comments are kind of... That specific commenter, I don't really think they have... I don't want to say they have bad intentions, but they also respond to my weekly email quotes, but they're always like a positive, you know, like, thank you for this quote, it was uplifting. I wonder almost if there's a language barrier. I don't know. But still, why would you say something like that and kind of try and cause, I don't know, awkwardness if you didn't have bad intentions? Kapil, hello, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. I had to draw the bottom of my floof because I forgot to draw the bottom of my floof. That was odd. Yeah, no, it's just, it is. That's a good way to describe it. It's odd, and I really think there's some sort of a language barrier or something amiss, because that person has been around for a while, and that's why I never ban them. I just time out because I'm trying to communicate without, you know. Well, I need to make a sign. I forgot to. And that's another thing is, you know, with the emails, they don't, it's always in a positive, like, response, like, you know, that was a great quote, that was, you know, thank you for sending it, stuff like that. And I don't understand, I mean, because obviously if you can understand the quote and, you know, the sentiment, then I don't know, that's one of the kind of curious ones. Okay, let's see, I need to do my sign. And I'm gonna have my line art end up here, but the stuff will continue down. My coloring will continue down. I just want to make the floofs and lines stand out a bit more. Do little bits of grass here, even though the grass is all but gone by the time people start lining up. Actually, let me make my thing a little bit smaller here. If I have enough room, Select everything. There we go. So a little bit of something there to show. Alright, so everybody's waiting, and since they're all in their own groups, I'll layer them appropriately. And now let's go to Floof that's eating in the college line. Oh, the sleeping one. I'm going to revise this because there was a point in time, I don't think you can do it anymore, but people would put up tents and they would have lawn chairs and they would wait overnight in some of these lines. I think I never walk down that way anymore, so, but there was a point in time where they would wait like hours, half a day in advance to get into some of those panels. And you would see, you know, the picnic blankets, all of that. Maybe I should revise that. Maybe you'll just have a little picnic blanket, and this one will be like, "What are you doing?" Or maybe this one is like, "I want to sit too." This guy's gonna have all the food and snacks. Now that's not an appropriate. I need a better. Maybe I'll do gobble 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 or something like that, or nom 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 nom. Let's do nom 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 nom. We need a bag of chips. I feel like this mouth is not the right mouth, or maybe the eyes are just off. Do a little. The bag is going to be kind of like this because it's going to have his paw on it. So I want to have like scalloped edges maybe, or maybe I'll just do this. You know what I can do? Let me just make it simple. Let's draw the simple shape. And then I'll come back and draw the scalloped edges later. Muppets, thank you so much. Welcome to the stream. Let's use this. And let's use this. That's my guide. Alright, now let's see how it looks. Let's erase my guide. The best, but not the worst. Let's see. I feel like this chip bag is kind of weird looking now. Jagged edges here and there, like where it's been ripped open. Let's just kind of jagged edge it there. There we go. And then we can kind of have a little bit of an edge. Maybe a cupcake instead. Ooh, I could have like maybe a container for a cupcake down here. Like he's got more food waiting, like maybe there's a to-go container too. Put that down here. Got all this food. A little bit weird looking, but you can shape into something. I'll delete that. Making. Alright, keeps. Keeps are a must, yes. A big bag of something, yes. Big bag of something good. Something tasty. Although I was thinking, no, chips bags, usually you don't get fluffy chips inside. They're all like settled in the bottom and broken. But maybe in Cozy Town the chips bags are legit. You get nice fluffy chips. None of them are broken. I'm not paying for, 70% air. Although the way he's gripping this bag, he's probably crushed his own chips. Cozy Town cheap bags are perfect. They are perfect. They're also bigger on the inside, so you get more chips than you think you get, looking at the outside. So let's group this guy. Alright, let's do the to-go containers here. Did I just... He already was grouped. It's this that I need to bring down, and... Alright, so he's got a little container. Let's do the to-go container first. And group this so I can draw and actually see things. And we need little vents on the corners. Right now I need a little container that has cupcake in it. Let's draw our cupcake first. And again, I have this grouped separately so I can color it and just layer it on top and then size it up or down if I need to. I wish there was a cupcake vendor there. You know, at one point in time I would kind of rate a convention by the cupcake vendor or cookie vendors that were there. Like, I love New York because they had the best cupcake vendor there, and it wasn't Magnolia Bakery, but it was kind of a local type, that level, but not as famous. And they would bring in all of these cases of cupcakes, and they were so good. I don't know if that vendor still does that at Yabbitt's, but there's not really anything. I mean, at one point in time, I think Mrs. Fields was at, maybe Mrs. Fields still is at San Diego, but I don't think that I could find them last year. But yeah, the food there kind of stinks. It's all the cafeteria food from the little sections there, and like the cheapest thing is like an $8 hot dog. And but if you go out a little bit, they have food trucks, and there are some, like there's it's like a window, a little taco window out behind the convention center. That place is really good, but I wish they had like more vendors like that. Doesn't look good. How do I want to draw the frosting on my cupcake today? Do I want to do something like this, or do I want to do a more buoyant, fluffy frosting? Maybe I'll do a little more buoyant frosting with some piece of fruit on top. Because then you can kind of rationalize, well, I've had fruit on this, you know. It's not 100% absolutely horrible. I could make a comic out of that, how Momo Cheat rationalizes a cupcake. Well, my cupcake needs to be small enough. I've got to have a dome over the top of it. I'll do that later when I color it, but I'm gonna do kind of like some little reflections, kind of light shining off their little cupcake. They've got everything. Oh, I need a drink. Who needs a cup? Make it. There we go. Kind of a wonky looking cup. Doesn't really work. Try and flip it. Looks a little better. So let's just take our reflected cup base and see if I can connect it up with something that looks decent. Cupcake, yes. Yes. Alright, since I did that, let's actually bring this out over like this. This little straw. Alright, so the drink is going to be there. That's the to-go container. And then we've got dessert. We've got our appetizer that is more like a meal in itself. So that seems about right. And then I'm going to have, let's get out of this group, and I'm going to have a Floof kind of looking at all of this. Goodness gracious. Get rid of that. There we go. Chips are it's cheese. I really hope the pen goes well. I've got him in a chip cheese bag. Oops, you can't see it. Well, maybe you can see it. I hope he goes well. I hope they all go well. I feel strongly about all of them. He's like, oh, I wish I had some cheese. Fixing how the webcomics have aliveness to them. Made art over computer chat. Yeah, definitely. I wonder, you know, right now, especially with the AI animation, I think, and to some degree the art too, there's kind of this, it's hard for me to describe, but it's almost like this shininess. Is that the right way to describe it? It just always gives it away to me. And even if the joke isn't, you know, layered in the AI, because I've seen like some AI videos which are fake news reports, and the reporter ends it with that I'm not real, blah blah blah, and you're like, oh my god. And some of them are obviously, you know, not real with the events that are happening in the background, but there's just kind of this quality to it, and I don't know if it's just, if it's like the perfection that's shiny, or if the rate, I don't know, depending on how much the AI has studied regular human videos, you'd think that it would have more of a range. I think the spontaneity of human emotion and reaction and all of that is still limited, because I feel like that is part that is contributed, but I feel like there's like a, shiny isn't the right word, but plastic isn't the right word either, but that's kind of what it feels like to me, and that's how I can identify it pretty readily. But I'm sure that it will, well, I don't know if it'll disappear or not, and it'll become more real, and there's a possibility, but I don't know, it just kind of always gives it away for me. I wish I could describe that better, because alright, so they're looking, I need to add some more noms. Let me just add a few more noms. Smaller noms. Alright, and now we are to the sleeping floof. This floof needs a badge. Alright, so now the sleepy floof. But I need to save first. Alright. Sleeping floof is up next. Do I want him to have a pillow? Do I want to have the same idea like I had before, that he would have a picnic blanket and be just kind of sleeping while he's waiting in line? I have a badge too. Maybe his whiskers are just falling like that. Maybe this one's just poking. Hey, we have to move. Like that. Apparently there are things, I saw a video, I want to say it was some Google thing, but you can upload a picture of yourself and then tell the AI to essentially make you talk about something. And God, that would be so creepy. That would be so creepy. But I can see how maybe influencers would use that to create content but not having to film. You know, you just upload your avatar, kind of like those VTubers used to be. Are there still VTubers? But even less, because all you have to do is tell it what to talk about. You don't have to actually be there to supply the software input. Little indication lines of where this floof is kind of pressed into the ground. I'm gonna get his little paw in here. And he's got a badge that's kind of coming over here. It's gonna be like just kind of folded underneath him. And he's gonna have his little picnic blanket. I need to draw this down a little bit. Well, good morning. Oh, you just turning over? Okay. Coco has turned over. And that is all. Alright, and now we've got to do the friend floof. It's like, hey, we gotta go. The line's moving. I'm just going to go ahead and draw this one completely. Oh, the mouth is a little weird. Let's see if I can redo this. Do I need to make it smaller? Oh. Is that more of the expression I wanted? Okay, we gotta move. I think it's sliding down his face a little bit. It needs to be up a little higher. I watched K-pop Demon Hunters this weekend. I thought it was very cute, and I love the animation. I liked how they it reminded me a little bit of Paperman, where they combined elements of 2D and 3D, and of course in Demon Hunters you kind of got that anime reaction, hyper expressionism. And they were able to pull that off, which I thought was really neat. And of course, the songs were really great. But I enjoyed that quite a bit. It reminded me too of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. To group and move this. Should I have the arrows pointing the other direction? Because if people are moving this direction, the sign be pointing to the end of the line? How does that work? I'll have to look that up. I feel like if you're approaching the area of a line, the signs would be pointing to the front of the line, which would be the end of the line, but in this case the line is so long, wouldn't it be the end of, or maybe, is it this specific place? They have people that mark the beginning and end of lines with signs. Huh. Q is this way or the hall is that way? Well, in this particular instance, the hall line is so long, they put tents up outside the convention center, and you're standing underneath this series of tents that wind around like a snake. Or maybe I just do no arrows. But yeah, the hall would be, in my mind, the hall is this way, and therefore the line is going back this way, and everybody's pointed the other way because that's the way they want to go. They want to go into the hall. I'm confused with Jay. Okay, why don't I just do no arrows? Let's just take the arrows out and say, okay, obviously these guys are all waiting in a long line. They all need to have badges. I only drew badges on 2 floofs. I gotta draw badges on these guys. I just need to draw. Some of them might have their badges be hidden, like this one. And this one. He's holding on to his badge. This one. Give you a badge, guy. His badge is hidden behind his bag of chips. What I'm trying to say is easy to understand what's going on, right? Then being placed over 3 panels kind of makes a line anyway visually, yeah. Because it's all going to be shown, actually no, it is going to be shown in this format, even on Instagram, because when I do a scale of Floof, I only post one image. So I don't split it up into the different panels. I feel like it's easier to look and, oh, this is me, and pick out your number if you see them all together. So you'll see with these guys spanning across, maybe to make it more clear, instead of having them behind the frame, maybe I'll pop the floofs in front of the frame. So maybe just the floofs are in front of the frame, and I'll have this stuff like the grass and stuff still be tucked under the frame, but the floofs themselves will pop out to reinforce that line. I think that might be the thing that solves it. So really, this guy, he's not going to be in front of the line. He's not going to be behind the line. He's going to be in front of it. But really only this little bit, because then I'll pop the line back out. And the same thing here, I'll pop the line back out. I think that could work. One more message and I'll be banned. No, Blue, thank you so much for suggesting this. That was a brilliant idea. And I love it. And it really makes it, kind of, I feel like it's more true to the experience. I like it that these two want his food. They're like, I want food. Maybe I'll do grumble. Or I don't have enough room to do grumbly tumblies, but that would be cute if I did. Alright. So let's move this top line out, and I'm going to bring these down. So to continue the story, they finally make it into a line, or rather a panel is number 5. Number 4. Number 5 is running late to something, like a panel. Maybe he's looking at his program. And then this one is friends coming together, meeting. And then I've got autograph table. And then I've got shopping in the hall. And with all sorts of random things that you find in the hall that are just delightful. And then I've got cosplay as number 9. And I'll just do some sort of a floof cosplay. Like a flower. I'm thinking a flower might be cute. Yeah, no, I love it when you guys share ideas. I've got some really, really clever ideas from you guys. For comics, for details. Alright. I like this one's so excited he's holding on to his badge. This one is checking his leaflet. This one is just chill and waiting, eating, sleeping. This one's super excited to be in the hall. Yeah, I think that's good. Alright. I think I'll end the stream there. I've been live about 2 hours. I will be... I'll probably be finishing this tonight. This is going to be posted next week, though. I'll have another comic for Thursday that's more along the normal. Trying to think. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I let your heating pad expire? I'm trying to remember. Did I actually draw? Oh, I'm all the way back in June. Okay, let's move this over here. Here we go. We're in July. Did I draw something? Oh, I have my sketches for my originals. I've got at least 3 sketched here. Yeah, that's Granny Bear comic. Yeah, that was POV Floof. I'll figure something out for Friday. I haven't drawn anything up yet, but I'll figure it out. Thursday, I'm sorry, Thursday. Looking so good. Good luck on... Oh, yes, thank you so much, Sharon. Yeah, it's going to be lots of packing and pinning. Trying not to stick my fingers. But no, this is good. I'll have this, and this will be... I'm thinking... If I get this done, this can be like the... You know, the post for next week. That's going to be like, hey, you know, comics are off for Comic Con. And then the following week, I'll just... maybe do a repost, just a repost week, and take that, you know, and come back on that following Friday with the Thursday. So, I think that'll work. Because last year I didn't even get any comics for that whole span of time, so this is good that I have at least one. Feel a bit better about that. Let me go to my ending screen. Thank you so much for joining me today. I always enjoy having your company in chat. Dee, Sharon, Blue Monkey, Chris, any of my lurkers, Clint, if you're still with us. I hope you guys have a great NetVids, you too. I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I will be back on Thursday with more comics, and I hope to see you again next time. Have a good day.